We have a Chancellor for the digital age. Rishi Sunak, sometimes referred to as Brand Rishi, sometimes criticised for being Brand Rishi, is a fantastic example of personal branding in action. So what can financial planners learn from Brand Rishi, and how can they implement some of his personal branding techniques within their own business and marketing practices? Coming up in this video. I'm Martin Bamford, founder of Bamford Media, and in this video I'm going to be talking about Brand Rishi, good old Rishi Sunak, Chancellor of the Exchequer, and some fantastic examples of personal branding that we see time and time again from this Chancellor, the Chancellor for the digital age. Now, back in July on Radio 4, Chancellor Rishi Sunak was addressing criticisms that he is becoming Brand Rishi, and he said this is about communication, and the way we communicate is changing. We've seen a change in how people engage with the way they get their news and the way they get their information. And I couldn't agree with him more. The way we engage with information, with news, with entertainment even, has changed beyond recognition in recent years. And he's quite right to recognise this and take advantage of those changes with his own personal branding. So what I'll run through in this video are 6 of the ways I believe Rishi Sunak has become Brand Rishi. And hopefully these are ideas that you can incorporate within your own financial planner marketing and your own personal branding if you want to incorporate personal branding into your marketing strategy. Now, the first way, and perhaps the most obvious way in which Rishi Sunak has become Brand Rishi, is through the use of graphics you see him using on social media. And these graphic cards, they have a number of similar attributes. So they're obviously based around a template, and it's the sort of thing that you can do yourself in software like Canva. But they use very high quality photography. They use fairly consistent graphics, so the font that's being used. He works from a color palette as well. So the colors used in the fonts and in the associated graphics are from the same palette of colours, and that's well considered, carefully considered as part of his personal branding. And then the signature logo, which is included in these graphic cards, I think is what sets him apart from other politicians. When you put your signature on something, you really put your stamp on it, you take ownership of it. So Rishi Sunak's signature logo, where it has his name and then the word Chancellor underneath, fantastic job title if you can get it, but that signature logo I think is such a powerful personal branding technique. And I think when you see Rishi Sunak's graphic cards, it's clear, it's concise, and it's consistent. His style and his messages in those graphic cards are consistent, and that is so important when you want to get your message across. Number 2 for Brand Rishi is his use of social media, and I referred to him in the introduction as the Chancellor for the digital age. You just look at the way Rishi Sunak has adopted Instagram, for example. Regular posts, consistent posts, and on Instagram now he's grown his audience to 121,000 followers, which for a Chancellor of the Exchequer, for somebody in what many younger people consider to be quite an old, dusty, fusty job, is a fantastic audience. And his engagement levels on individual posts are incredibly high as well. So I think his use of Instagram is a lesson for us all. If we want to get better social media engagement, that's a really good thing to look at. Point number 3 that makes Brand Rishi what it is his use of photography. And I mentioned that in point number 1 with the graphic cards. The graphic cards he posts on social media are often featuring high quality photography, but he really does use some of the best quality photography out there, and it's consistently to a very high standard. So clearly a professional photographer who takes his images, which are then used in his branding messages. Now, some of the attributes of Rishi Sunak's photography I think are worth pointing out. One is authenticity. So there's a lot of use of behind the scenes photography. Rishi Sunak working at home was one of his most popular Instagram posts. So that behind the scenes photography, that authenticity, is a really good way to connect with your audience, to establish your personal brand, to particularly for a politician to come across as more human. And I think there's a lesson there that financial planners can learn too, because financial planners are often seen as a profession which is a little bit scary to work with. Certainly disclosing all of your personal financial information, your health, your relationships, your financial goals can be a little bit daunting for the first time with a financial planner. So if you can break down some of those barriers and come across through photography as a person person, as a real life human individual, that's much easier for your prospective clients to then make that connection with you. So lessons to learn, I think, from Rishi Sunak's use of photography. Point number 4 that makes Brand Rishi what it is his sense of style. Now, personally, I'm the last person to talk about a sense of style, particularly during the lockdown, when my dress sense has become very much the first pair of shorts and t-shirt I can find on the bedroom floor to chuck on. I don't dress up. I don't believe in sartorial elegance. It's not part of my DNA personally. But Rishi Sunak clearly has this nailed. He has a signature look. He has his suits, his sort of inky blue suits, his super skinny ties, his slightly foreshortened trousers, and it's a consistent look. You know, he looks and appears the same way. But he's a young Chancellor, and I think his dress sense comes across as quite young sometimes as well. And again, that's about connection with his audience and with a younger audience. So you'll occasionally see photos of Rishi Sunak wearing a hoodie, and he pulls off the hoodie very well as well. He's at an age where he can look good in a suit, he can look good in a hoodie, and it's not too embarrassing. I think once you get over, say, 50, maybe 60, wearing a hoodie might be pushing the extremes of sartorial elegance just a little bit. So you do have to be a little bit careful about that. But I think the key point here is that Rishi Sunak has clearly considered how he looks, how he dresses, and again, there's that consistency in the way he appears in the public eye. So the choice of suit, jacket and colour, the choice of tie, the choice of shirt, it's all about his personal brand and about the message that he wants to get across. Point number 5, when we look at Brand Rishi, are the slogans. Now, politicians are well known for using slogans, and Rishi Sunak appears to be very good at this indeed. And of course, he coined the Eat Out to Help Out slogan over the month of August, when you could go out on a Monday, Tuesday or Wednesday to restaurants and get 50% off your meal, part of the economic response to COVID-19. And more recently, he's come up with Pay As You Grow, which is about flexibility in repaying some of the coronavirus pandemic loans, the government-backed ones. So Rishi Sunak is very good at coining slogans and then, of course, sharing those slogans on his social media posts. And again, this is about consistency. This is about clarity of message. Now, brand is all about other people's perception of what you stand for and what you do. So if he has consistent slogans, consistent messages, which he appears to, then that helps people to get a better perception of what he stands for, what he's about, what his values are. So think about how within your own personal branding, you can really bring your values, your brand values to the fore through slogans, through consistency of messaging. And then point number 6, when we think about Brand Rishi, are product placements. This one's a bit controversial. I know Rishi Sunak caused an awful lot of controversy recently when he posed in a photo with huge bags of Yorkshire tea, and that wasn't a paid product placement. In fact, Yorkshire tea distanced itself a little bit from the photo opportunity at a later date once it blew up on social media. Other chancellors and other politicians, of course, in the past have done this too. They like to associate themselves with products which are, I guess, seen as products of the people, and Yorkshire tea definitely falls into that category. But from a product placement perspective, earlier this year we saw Rishi Sunak working in the Chancellor's office, preparing his budget speech, and in the back of the photograph was a very expensive travel mug, a smart travel mug, reportedly costing about £180. And it was a travel mug, a coffee mug, which tracks your consumption of caffeine and also keeps your drink at your preferred temperature. And it was seen as an extravagance. He claimed it was a gift from his wife, but in my opinion, my view, that product was very carefully placed in the photo. It was designed to be picked up, and maybe that's a political distraction, but I think something about associating yourself with high value products is probably, from a personal branding perspective, an aspirational trick. You want your audience to believe you're successful. You want your audience to have that perception of you as somebody that can afford nice things, that believes in quality, because that's a brand perception you're trying to get off through your financial planning services. And of course, Rishi Sunak was not the first Chancellor to do this. George Osborne was pictured eating a Byron burger, a takeaway burger, in his office the night before the budget, and he was criticised because a takeaway Byron burger costs £6.75, whereas you can go to McDonald's and get a hamburger for 99 pence. But that was his choice, his quality meal. And then we saw Philip Hammond, another previous Chancellor, who had a personalised Emma Bridgewater mug on his desk. So chancellors have been known, and politicians are often known to do this, to place certain products in photographs and to try to associate themselves with certain other brands. This is a really powerful trick for brand personal branding and your branding, which is to piggyback on the brand recognition and the quality of other brands. So 6 lessons there from Brand Rishi, lessons that hopefully you can look at and copy and adapt for your own personal branding, if personal branding is on your agenda for your financial planner marketing. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Which aspects of Rishi Sunak's personal branding do you most identify with? What do you think you could incorporate within your own personal branding, within your own financial planner marketing? So leave a comment below. Until next time, I'm Martin Bamford from Bamford Media, helping you to attract and retain your ideal clients. Do subscribe to our page or our channel to get more videos like this in the future. Leave us a like, and of course I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Thank you for watching.